Yo, what's going on guys? It's Daniel and this is Tech Tuning. Today's video that I'm bringing you guys is a pretty simple one and really not that necessary, but I did take the footage when I was doing this job on my car, so I thought I would just make a short video to share with you guys in case any of you might need a few pointers or just a reference if you ever get to this job at yourself on your own car. But in today's video, I'm going to be changing the front and rear sway bar bushings on a Celica. The process is super easy, like I was saying. You really don't need any fancy tools or any special experience. And honestly, this video is a little bit unnecessary. On the off chance that maybe it'll help someone, I decided to just go forward and make it anyway. So without further ado, I'll get you guys right into the process and show you how it's done. So in order to replace the sway bar bushings on your Celica, there's just going to be 4 12mm bolts. There's going to be 2 brackets on each side of the sway bar. And what I'm going to try doing is just taking the brackets off and seeing if I can slip off the old bushing and put on the new one and then just put the brackets back on. So I'm going to take the camera under the car and I'll show you guys where each bracket is going to be. So sitting underneath the car, if you're right underneath the front of the engine, you can see right here we have the one bracket with the 2 12mm bolts, and you can see that the sway bar goes all the way over here to the sway bar link, and then the same thing on the other side. So it's a little tough to squeeze the camera underneath the car to show you guys me actually removing the bolts, but it's pretty straightforward. You just have to take the 2 bolts out and then take the little bracket out. And with my old bushings out, we can see that they're still somewhat soft, but there's a lot of wear on the inner sides of it, and it's very compressed, meaning the rubber's been squished down and it's kind of cracking around the edges. They're not terrible, but the new ones are definitely in a lot better shape, and so all we have to do is just grease the inside and the outside of these where it's going to be contacting the metal points, and then we just have to slip this back onto the sway bar and put the 2 bolts back up. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to be taking care of is going to be the rear sway bar bushings. And for that, I have these polyurethane ones that I bought off eBay because they were only like $15. I did do generic rubber ones from like the OEM company Moog for the front, and I would like to get matching polyurethane in the front and back at some point, but at the time the Moog ones were only like $12. They were a lot cheaper than the poly ones that I was looking at, so that was why I went with those, just to have them fresh for the time being. If I could, I would love to get full rubber ones all around the car, but the issue is finding rubber ones for the rear. I've only been able to find poly, which is why I bought these. So either way, it'll be new bushings for the car, which is going to help the handling out a lot. So I'm going to start swapping these into the rear of the car. So coming underneath the back of the car and getting a good look at the rear setup on the GT-S, you can see that it's just the 2 bolts here for each bushing. So there's going to be 1 bushing and bracket on the passenger, and then you'll see there's also 1 over there on the driver's side. All we're going to do is take these 2 bolts out on both sides so that the sway bar is completely loose, take the brackets off, slip the bushings off. We're going to grease the new poly bushings, put those on, put the brackets back on, and then push it back up into place to line up the bolts. And I'm going to just loosely thread the bolts in first, and then once they're all threaded in and started, then I'll go through with either the ratchet or the impact to tighten them all the way down. And for clarification, these are 12mm bolts. The old bushings out, it's probably a good time to give you guys some information. The size of the rear sway bar is actually only 15mm, which is pretty small as far as I know. You can see that the OEM one has a little 15 molded into it, and luckily the ones that I purchased are also a 15mm sway bar size, so these are going to work perfect for our application. Mine were actually in really good shape by the looks of it. Like, they're really, they're not that bad. They're a little cracked around the outside, And one of them, I think it was this one, yeah, was just starting to crack on the contact point. Same with this one right here. But I'll probably hang on to these just in case. I really doubt that the poly ones are going to create a very harsh ride, but just in case, these are really good. I was honestly really surprised because the fronts were really rough. But I guess that's to be fair, considering the front sway bar size is a lot larger, and you have to factor in the fact that the front wheels are doing all the turning. So there's a lot more load on those. But taking out the new ones, we can see we get the bushings, we get a nice sticker as always. Save that for a different day. And it also comes with lubricant, which is really important. Polyurethane bushings, since they are much harsher, all have to be greased and lubed. My hands are a little dirtier now, so I'll try to clean them off or put on a glove before I apply this. But we're just gonna run some grease inside here where the bushing is gonna sit, and then also on the outside here where the little bracket is gonna hold it into place. So let's grease these up, and then we can start putting them back into the car. Alright guys, so that's gonna about wrap it up. I know this video was short, but I hope it was informative for those of you that need it. The front sway bar bushings are really easy. It was just really tough to get the camera because my camera setup's a little bit bulky. So I hope that was enough information on that, but I think the rear was really useful and I got a lot more footage to show you guys on that end of the car. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed and I hope the video was useful for you. If you guys really like the channel, then I appreciate all the support. It always means a lot when I see a positive comment from you guys or a new like or a new subscriber. I'm really glad that I can make content for the Celica platform and I hope it benefits everyone in the long run. So I'll see you guys in the next one.